Hey folks, Eric from Another Voice with Eric and Friends, and on a recent podcast, which will be posted at canigetawordin.com Monday evening, January 30th, which is tonight, we had a lot of issues we wanted to talk about, but we actually got tied down talking about just basically two. We talked to and about the media and the man with the pen, President Trump's executive orders. So there were a number of other issues we wanted to talk about, and I decided to do a quick video about one of those issues that I think we need to talk about, and I may do future videos just to complement the podcast. So recently, the South Carolina Department of Juvenile Justice underwent an audit, and I was made aware of this by a post from South Carolina Representative Josiah Magnuson. It was an interesting post. It caught my attention because he said he was sitting in a hearing about where the audit of the Department of Juvenile Justice was being read, and he was getting angrier by the moment. So that caught my attention, wondering what was concerning him, what he was upset about. And then he, like a few other, and let me just make a quick aside here, a few of our elected representatives and senators in South Carolina are doing something I think is really good. They are giving weekly updates on what's going on in the legislature. Josiah Magnuson and Jonathan Hill both do Facebook Live. Of course, Representative Gary Smith of Simpsonville does updates on a regular basis. He gives us all kinds of other information. I've always appreciated his keeping the citizens informed. And there are others. So in Josiah Magnuson's weekly update, he talked about the details of that report, that audit. And I want us to think about this, because we need to contact our representatives and senators and say, what are you going to do about this? Let me just give you a few of the highlights. The audit discovered that there were a number of employees of the Department of Juvenile Justice who were not certified. But it was worse than that, because they were not certified because they could not be certified, either because of things in their background or other aspects. So the Department of Juvenile Justice was hiring uncertified people who could not even be certified. It wasn't like they hired an uncertified person and then they put them through training and they became certified. This couldn't happen. So we have people that are being paid to take care of juveniles in a justice situation, in a prison situation, in a legal situation, that don't have the qualifications to do the job. They also highlighted the fact that of the recent riot that happened at the facility, and that the guards weren't trained to take care of that. They weren't trained to handle it properly. They also talked about the fact that the Department of Juvenile Justice has its own police force. Why it, as one of the only agencies, has their own police force, no one could explain. And it was not only that, but it was an ineffective police force. It didn't respond the few times that it might have been helpful. It didn't respond. And when questioned about that, the response was, well, they do traffic things on the campus. So we have untrained, unqualified employees. We have a police force that probably shouldn't be there, doesn't do its job, doesn't help. On top of that, they didn't report at least 2 deaths. I think they occurred during the Department of Juvenile Justice's wilderness camps that they have, which are great camps, and the idea is very good. But there were 2 juveniles who died, and they violated state law and didn't report it. Now, if your blood's not boiling yet, I don't know if you have blood. And that's not the whole report. That's just some of the highlights. Now, these are our young people. Yes, they have gotten in trouble with the law. But we want them to not stay in trouble with the law. The whole point is to work with them and try to rehabilitate them and try to make it so they don't become adult offenders. So take it. I'm hoping that you're worked up like I am, and take that energy and take a minute to get on your computer and email your representative or your senator, or pick up the phone and call them, or take a trip to Columbia. It's not that far from any part of the state. Take some time to go down and talk to them. But this is the fact. This is what we have to start doing. We have to start holding our elected officials accountable, finding out what they're going to do when there are problems like this. And if we do that, we can affect the changes in our state that we need. All right, folks. Don't forget to check out the podcast tonight. CanIGetAWordIn.com or Facebook at Another Voice with Eric and Friends. And until we get together again, get out in your community and make a difference.